Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I had some microphone difficulties for a brief second, but we are here for rounds 7 and 8 in the ARC GT3 Challenge Championship. I still don't remember the acronym. It's GT3 racing from Daytona. Let's go away. I don't know. Managed to get the microphones fixed just in time for the start of the session's first flying lap from Jamie Wright in the 488. In case people haven't had enough of Daytona, considering we had the 24 hours of Daytona 2 days ago, yesterday, which I didn't commentate, because the game is laggy, was GT7's AEC opener, which was at Daytona. And today we have our GT3 at Daytona. There's a reason why I call this place the home of AutoRacingConnected, because it seems like when one thing races here, everything races here. I'm surprised there's not like a Daytona race in ARC NASCAR on Wednesday. I don't think that's next anyway. I probably should check, but I'm pretty sure it's not. As Jimmy Wright is heading through NASCAR 3 and 4 to... Okay, wait, what? I'm blind. Oh no, those aren't real laps. Those are out laps that the game just counted for reasons unknown. The first actual lap of the session will be Jamie Wright running a 1:48 flat, which is then quickly topped by two AMGs, Jurgensmeyer with a 46.4 and Scarborough with a 46.0. And Jamie Wright is off the track. Those are both immediately ousted by a 44.3 from DIVEBOMB in the Lamborghini. And even AJ Knickel couldn't defeat that with his own 44.46. 2/200ths off the funny lap time. Two FBR cars, pretty evenly matched, separated by about 4/10. Jen Torres in the Boatley runs a 45.1, so sort of splitting the difference between the top two and the rest of the grid. The Dustendorp with a 45.9, letting his teammate go past out of one. I'm watching you. You're on an in-lap. Let's see other lap times. Matthew Stott split the two FBR drivers with the 47-46. For the first time all season, this race had a pre-qualifying session. I believe a driver by the name of Wade Lee was one of the two that got dropped. I don't know who the other one was. I'm pretty sure there were 18 people. And I didn't make enough of a note of who reacted in the Discord to really be like, oh, that person has not made it. Matthew Stotts couldn't be any more on his own out here. Everyone's in the first half of the track. He's the only person anywhere near NASCAR 3. Here's somebody coming up to the line. It's one of these two cars in the bus stop. Not you. Not you. Now let's do the F1 thing of the track guide. It's not really much of a complicated track. There's not too many corners to remember, but each one of them has a weird gimmick to it that's kind of worth giving attention to. If he even runs this lap, he might just be pitting in here. That wasn't a lap. Braking for turn 1 is always difficult, as cars like to get unstable into braking. Scarborough manages it fine. Once you can get the car stopped, it's not too hard to corner. 2 and 3 are not really much of turns at all. Turn 4 is a late apex hairpin, also known as the International Horseshoe, I think. Next is the kink, not really a problem for most GT3 cars, if any. Then we have the West Horseshoe. Brake at the end of the cones there. There's a spinning Porsche right in front of Jake, and they save it right back into Jake. I think that would have to be Setchel, I think, is the Porsche. He's the only Porsche here. Scarborough has missed the hairpin that takes us onto the banking. Yeah, that was Setchel in that Porsche. And I think up ahead is AJ Knickel on an out lap. He's attempting to warm up the tires. And then we have the bus stop, because they refuse to call it the Le Mans chicane. Brake where the Rolex billboard starts. Turn in, and pick a God and pray. That's the best I can really say on that. As DIVEBOMB ups the ante to a 43.5. Likewise, AJ improved to a 44 flat when I wasn't looking. See what Scarborough manages on his tour guide lap here. A 44.7. The AMG is unsurprisingly quite strong here, as it is a vehicle that specializes in top speed. Something which you definitely need to have success at Daytona, given the 3 pretty long straightaways. Oh, you're not AJ, you are AJ. Very much a case of gridlock here in the middle of the infield part of the circuit. Everyone seems to be in this general area. I think the most important things at Daytona are top speed and stability under brakes. If you have those two things, you can probably have moderate success here at Daytona. The ability to keep your tires heated is also pretty important, but it's not nearly as paramount as being able to go fast in a straight line and survive the 3 hairpins. Downforce is generally just optional here, as the timer has expired on the session. This will be everyone's final lap as AJ Knickel gets a gargantuan run on Logan, and that's about right. Go fast, turn to the left. Occasionally you gotta make one of 3 right-handers. The 2 horseshoes, and then the exit of the bus stop. Lots of track limits. AJ Knickel's best offering at the lap record is not enough. It's 43.94. Puts him comfortably on the front row, but it doesn't put him on pole. Jen Torres did start this lap in time. I can tell because this isn't really how an AI takes a corner. Trying to figure out who that is coming out of 4. I guess we'll see what Matthew Daly runs. I can't actually tell who those other cars are in time. First one must not have changed their position as I'm staring at the leaderboard. The other one also didn't. What does Matthew Daly manage? Jumps a little bit, 46.3. And I believe Jen Torres will be the last driver to complete their lap. I think Fidel Fabian was one of the later cars. as he jumped to, I think that's 5th on the board, right alongside his teammate. Jen Torres improved by about a 10th, but it wasn't enough to get ahead of either of the JSR drivers. Well, that advanced quickly. Okay, so we're here ahead of the sprints, and as usual, we'll run down the grid order before, while everyone's making their strategy choices and the like. On pole is DIVEBOMB, with a Flyer 43.5 in the Lamborghini. AJ Knickel starts on the front row alongside him, looking to make it, 6 or 7 here. He's taken only 1 defeat so far and is at the hands of the drivers starting alongside him. Jake Scarborough starts P3, and Fidel Fabian P4. Fidel trying to maybe get some redemption both from his realistic F1 race on Friday as well as from his last 2 GT3 starts where he had some pace. Or am I thinking of 3 and 4? I'm thinking of 3 and 4. Jen Torres P5, Travis Van Istendorp in P6, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer P7, Matthew Stotts in P8, Matthew Daly in P9. That's not confusing. Connor Hannick would be P10. I think this is his first start of the season. Billy Targi will start P11 after he got a grid penalty for a pit lane violation. Carter Ritchie starts alongside his teammate in 12th. Setchel starts P13. Logan Cool starts P14. Jamie Wright, P15. And last is Luke Allen. Not really the greatest day for Ferraris as they start 10, 15, 16 today. And disconcertingly, unlike every other race in the calendar, we have no choice but to do rolling starts at Daytona. That's one of very few ways the Gran Turismo 7 is superior. You can do them there. And as usual, trackside for the first lap. Speedometer map on the screen. The red lights are illuminated. And the sprint race is green from Daytona. Turn 1 is very likely to cause massive damage to at least one vehicle here. So let's roll the dice and find out who gets clobbered. Looks like everybody... Nope, never mind. We got Setchel and Jamie around in the back. Those are the 2 that get clobbered. And Connor Hannick is around a little further down. He's spun off on the outside of the International Horseshoe. Otherwise than that, I think we're under a yellow flag. Yeah. I can only presume that was... Well, we had 3 cars involved in separate incidents, but... Bruh. I don't think you get those spots back, AJ. No, you don't. And I think Ericsson has hit AJ Knickel, and he's devoted himself to P6 under the safety car. My only other guess is that perhaps Jen Torres... Oh, my word, that car is destroyed. Didn't see what on earth happened to you. Did you end up in a twister? Boy. I'm thinking why this caution exists might be because Torres have potentially got inverted, I think. I would say it's relatively safe to assume that he in fact flipped, and when a flip takes place in an ARC race, well, Project Cars 2 race, it is an automatic yellow. I think it'd technically be an automatic yellow in GT7, but the physics in that game are so weighted that it never happens. But it happens pretty often here. It doesn't happen in NASCAR. I can tell you, as somebody who has flipped many times in ARC NASCAR races and did not get a caution, those are not instant cautions. Now, unless you do have damage to your vehicle, there really isn't a whole lot of reason for anybody to be pitting right now, since it's a sprint race. However, I kind of have this sneaking suspicion that Jen Torres will be pitting anyway. Oh, don't want to do that. Yeah, Torres, Jurgensmeyer, and Setchel, and Matthew Daly are in the pit lane. Setchel has missed the pit box. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to reverse under pit lane. Or in the pit lane, not under pit lane. English, good. So yeah, I definitely did say turn 1 is likely to cause massive damage to somebody. It appears that today, the somebody was Jen Torres' Bentley. That thing didn't even look recognizable when I put the camera on it. It looked less like a Bentley and more like... I don't even know. It looked like a dumpster. It's what it looked like. About the right color, too, for those waste management bins. A dark green. It is interesting, it's kind of neat that the word ARC is on DIVEBOMB's Lamborghini. Kind of ruined by the fact that A, I really don't like that livery, and B, it's the funny number. Yeah, everyone is making extra sure that they get the required amount of swerving in here. As keeping the tire temperatures up at Daytona is a very difficult task on the best of days. Being that we're running this race in-game on the real-life date of January 30th, the temperatures are rather low, so you're not really going to get a whole lot of temp. Not to mention, there's only like 5 real corners on this track. Turn 1, 2 horseshoes, corner onto banking, bus stop. So there's not really a whole lot of opportunity to warm up the tires as far as just like, cornering at speed. Because most of those corners, with the exception of the bus stop, are taken pretty slowly. As we should be about seconds away from the green flag returning here at Daytona. And second, Dylan chooses to floor the gas. And he has chosen to floor the gas, and we are green once more. I think it's safe to say he caught everyone a bit off guard there. It's not too hard to do. Van Dusendorf tries to challenge Scarborough into turn 1, and doesn't quite get alongside or anything near that. Behind them is very close quarters between Fidel and Stotts. AJ Knickel takes full advantage of that and picks both of them off into 1. Luke Allen, I think just by way of avoiding the madness, has managed to make his way from P16 on the start to P9. Looks for P8. He's going to try and get to the outside of Billy Targi. As I have panned the camera down, that is the timing sheet. And AJ Knickel has been clobbered in the second horseshoe by Fidel Fabian. Oh boy, I think that's shades of Zuhai there. If we think back to that race when AJ did much the same thing by accident and ran into the back of Fidel Fabian, taking him out of contention. I'm not going to sit here and act like there was any deeper meaning behind it as to why Fidel would have done that, but it just makes you think a little bit. Because, gee, it feels like we've seen this just with the rolls flipped around. With that, dramatic event, the field is pretty spread out as Carter Ritchie is off of the circuit and parking. Not really sure what is going on there. Connor Hannick is doing the same. We're not under caution, so I'm just kind of confused. Oh my god, Jake Scarborough's doing 180. Just legit activated DRS. Oh, Billy Targi, you have missed by a considerable margin. Matthew Daly, Luke Allen, Jamie Wright, everyone just filing through. There's no room for that. And Jamie Wright has been spun off of the side of Luke Allen's 488. Some Ferrari on Ferrari violence has been committed. Considering I didn't really see much of the crash, I can't exactly say who was really at fault, but the fact of the matter is Jamie Wright has spun out, and Luke Allen is, not spun out. Despite what just happened, AJ Kinnickle is already back into P6. Like, nothing even happened. He didn't just get spun out or anything on the previous lap. As Travis Van Oostendorp had a run on his teammate, he's still kind of alongside. Are the two teammates about to go two abreast into the bus stop? I do believe so. Nope, Matthew Stott does not have much of momentum. And Travis Van Oostendorp will seize that position from his teammate. AJ Kinnickle with some interesting interpretation of where the bus stop isn't. Cuts down to the inside of his teammate on exit, and he will also overtake his teammate. We got a bit of a drag race heading towards T1. Allen looking to the outside of Jurgensmeyer, brakes very late, too late, a spin, and that collects Jurgens. Oh my god, that impact noise. Luke Allen, he did the turn one thing. He locked the rears up, or the rears just got too much pressure put on them, and around the Ferrari went, and unfortunately just also collected Jurgensmeyer in that process. Very easy to do, very common to have happen at Daytona, as AJ Kinnickle just plays a bit of pool with the CLE Renaults and takes over two positions in one corner. Matthew Daly overtakes the other Matthew as a result of that bump. I think AJ just went into the touring car playbook a little bit there, I would say. Why is that car so loud for being so far back? Good lord. Oh, because I'm hearing Van Oostendorp's, not Stott's. Jake Scarborough is still managing to keep DIVEBOMB honest. He's not been able to make a move, but he's not lost track of him either. And as we're counting down the laps here, we might see a more a calculated maneuver from Scarborough not too far in the future. Never mind, we may not, as Scarborough just overcooked it on the throttle on exit and nearly wrecked the whole car. He's lucky to keep that thing pointed the right way. Sort of random click noise. However, that mistake has not only allowed Dylan to finally pull away from Scarborough, it's also allowed AJ to catch right back up. Yeah, he's applying massive pressure to Van Oostendorp. He gets a good exit onto the banking. We'll see if, I believe Daly's going to be able to easily take that spot away with a corner like that. Daly Targi versus Logan Cool for P8, which would be the pole in the feature if you finish there. So this is a very important overtake for Targi to make. I'm being invited. Matthew Stotts missed the bus stop, and I think he just had 3 other people follow him right off the track limit. And 3 cars in a conga line. I think Matthew Stotts might have either let off to let the penalty go, or he just doesn't have the top speed. Cool and Torres get ahead of him on the straightaway. And Stotts gets into the back of Logan at turn 1's apex. I think Logan was trying to set up for a better exit over the Bentley and instead got a Renault right into the rear wing. Now missing turn, or the second hairpin, possibly as a result of said damage. It's hard to be sure. At some point, AJ dispatched of Jake, and now it is his teammate's turn to try and take it as well. It's a lot of T's. Now it's his teammate's turn to take it back. As we're apparently driving through a void right now. There we go. I think Jake Scarborough made a mistake. He got passed by Matthew, and he also got passed by Travis Van Oostendorp when I wasn't looking. I think Matthew Stotts' stranglehold on that qualifying spot may be short-lived. Is he trying to bump draft with Matthew Stotts in a GT3 car? Oh, I think he was trying to catch Logan so that they could... I think, yeah, he's trying to help him catch Logan Cool. If they do that and pass him, they both get qualifying spots, but Matthew Stotts has missed the International Horseshoe, which won't help with that at all. Carter Ritchie disconnected, and I think they did that quite a while ago, but that's not what I want to commentate, or I want to spectate. Logan has missed the West Horseshoe. Gives Matthew Stotts a solid opportunity to outbrake the Huracan and grab P7. But we've seen the top speed of that Lamborghini is lethal, and I'm pretty sure we're about to see another prime demonstration of it right here. Pick up a little bit of slipstream off of that RS01. The Acura is mostly helpless on a straight line like this. Having said that, oh my word, it's going to come down to the bus stop between these three. In the meantime, DIVEBOMB is going to head towards the tri-oval, and he's going to win the sprint race here at Daytona. But I turn back to the battle for P7, and to see who gets flip-flopped around. Billy Targi continues to try and push Matthew Stotts, but that's not accomplished anything. Logan Cool is going to get P7. Oh my god! Matthew Stotts got 7th over Logan, which gives Logan the pole for the feature race. Billy Targi pushes Matthew Stotts over the line first, at the expense of, well, really his own top 8 finish. And Jake Scarborough is deceased. And Jurgensmeyer is assaulting the other Mercs. Yeah? Dylan Baum clattering into Setchel, doing his victory donuts here at the end of the sprint race. And he's being stared down by his teammate, who just took the pole for the feature. So I guess in a way, that's almost like the best case scenario down there at Champ Racing, because they've got one car that just put themselves in the win, and the other that put themselves in the best seat in the house to start the feature. As frankly terrifying as that is, I know from personal experience, Logan starting on pole can be terrifying. But at least it means that if there is a wreck into turn 1, it's much less likely to be his doing. Especially when we restart single file. So that's how that pass happened. That wasn't a huge run on the part of Billy and Stotts. That was just Logan letting off to get the pole on the feature. Interesting strategy. We'll see if it pays off for him. I am going to take this time to let my throat recover, as we've got another 17 laps, I believe, of racing action coming up. I think we're waiting a minute to see if Richie can rejoin, but I don't really think he's interested. Alright, I was not expecting to be loading in this quickly. This is such an awkward moment in the stream, because it's like, you know, it's one thing when it's like, oh, we're at the racetrack waiting for the thing. No, we're just staring at a menu. Okay, so it's 8... Excuse me. It is an 18-lap feature race. It says 19 up there for, you know, the formation lap to get the grid in order. Speaking of order, I need to charge my tablet. Now, I wouldn't totally hate this starting grid either, to be honest. A Hannick Tarji front row just seems hilarious to me. I Although I'd prefer Dylan and AJ started like 14th, 15th. That would make things more interesting. They had to do the last to first challenge together. Might make it fair for the other drivers as well. I love how the viewership spikes when we're in between races, and as soon as we're about to begin the actual feature race, this viewer count goes back down. Like, what is going on? What are we cooking over here? As the fake race start is green, but do not be fooled, we are not going yet. Although I'm pretty sure we are going a little forwards to at least get to a spot where we can safely arrange the grid. And we have all left. Okay. Oh, someone got disqualified in the formation lap. Yeah, I kind of knew that was coming too. I literally mentioned this is like the only racer we have to do a rolling start, and that's the reason why we don't do them anywhere else. That was fast. My God. Normally when I have to do a lobby reset, it takes 2 or 3 minutes to get everyone in there and situated, but I barely even had time to process what I was doing. Which was supposed to be nothing. I'm not supposed to be doing anything yet. Grab a drink for the future. I almost said the future. Yeah, the future. No, feature race. Hopefully this time we get to actually start it. You know what? I think I prefer that. I think I prefer this. For the third week in a row, my mom comes down to make dinner in the middle of the race. Riker Lum will get an uninterrupted broadcast challenge if possible. Just try to tune out the microwave and the garbage bag. I have to go over the starting grid at some point. As Logan Cool is on pole after 8th in the sprint, followed by can't see anything. Matthew Stotts, John Torres, Jake Scarborough, Travis Van Dorp. So the leaderboard shifter and I was confused. Matthew Daly, just ahead of his teammate AJ Knickel. Dylan Baum after winning the sprint race. Billy Targi, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Fidel Fabian, Luke Allen, Jamie Wright, Setchel, and Connor Hannock rounds out the grid after spinning off at turn 3 in the sprint. Attempt to use the trackside cameras for the race start, but no promises. This camera's kind of whack compared to the doesn't hold a candle to the F1 or even GT7 trackside cameras, that's for sure. Half the time these cameras can't even keep up with the cars, and they usually hang or linger for way too long. Like, imagine if there was a battle for the lead happening through here, and this camera is constantly being blocked by palm trees. Doesn't really make for a very prolific broadcast cam, now does it? Yeah, the start of this feature race is at Logan Cool's discretion whenever he elects to gas it. Like this is way too far away. I can't even see what's going on. I just see a bunch of headlights. And he, of course, waits for the last possible moment, and we are green from the feature event. There's a Matthew Stotts there somewhere. He has no headlights on, so I can't tell. Like, I'd like to get a wide shot of the turn 1 madness, as there it is. And it is, someone went off alongside with Scarborough and Torres. So Torres once again spinning on lap 1, but not nearly as much damage this time around. As the sun is setting here, I kind of hope it goes to nighttime during the race, otherwise I won't be able to see anything any better than the racers will. I think Matthew Daly was swinging wide to let his teammate go through, but his teammate just spun out. And that's Dylan Baum. So, but now we've had an AJ Knickel spin. Now it's time to watch him go through the field like they're driving in slow motion. Probably still win the race. Matthew Stotts has already taken the lead from the Huracan driver. And speaking of Huracan driver, Dylan Baum has taken P3 from Van Oostendorp. Fidel Fabian's trying to follow him ahead, but he is understeered majorly at the bus stop, and oh my word, that's a save and a half. Bit of all-terrain mode going from Fidel Fabian. He manages to reverse entry his way back onto the racetrack and not drive into anybody either. That looks oddly satisfying to watch. Logan Cool has that straight line advantage over the Renault. That's also a wall, and that is not the corner. I don't really know what to call that. I don't really think it's the racing line, whatever it was. Matthew Stotts, one way or the other, will remain ahead going through the middle sector here, or going into the middle sector, I mean. Everyone's pretty much nose to tail right now, except for the back two that have had incidents. Once again, we see another demonstration of the Huracan's top speed. Let's see if he can use it to get alongside the Renault. I don't think he will in time, though. And there's the breaking point. I think Logan also got a better exit from the bus stop there, which combined that with aforementioned straight line speed. Now I think Matthew is legitimately in trouble.
Did you use that?
No. They're dead heat across the start-finish stripe. Who does turn one better? It's not Logan Cool, as, well, Matthew Stotts didn't really make the corner excellent either. So they remain too wide, and the weirdest looking crossover I've ever seen, and Logan Cool will grab the lead back from the Renault. Stotts has the inside line, though, which is the advantage pretty much any hairpin you can really think of. But Logan Cool does not care for your hairpin conventions, and he takes the lead. And I thought he was about to die going through the kink, but he manages to keep a hold of the car. Stotts wanted to shoot to the outside, but the lane was closed off, only losing the Renault more time. And all the while Logan Cool is doing this, and blocking Matthew Stotts' path to victory, guess who's catching up? His teammate DIVEBOMB, you know, the sprint race winner. Yeah, he's knocking on their door, and guess what? Lamborghini Huracan has straight line speed, Logan's does, and so does Dylan's. And Stotts is going to pull alongside the 78 car, and DIVEBOMB will back out and watch the fireworks. And what? Okay, Stotts didn't actually do anything, that was just latency. A poor exit from the bus stop is all Dylan needs to take advantage of to grab the lead, and grab second, and then probably grab the lead from his teammate. As I imagine team orders will shortly be used. Matthew Stotts is boxing himself in a tiny bit. I thought for a second they were going to go 3 wide. I think Logan Cool backed out of that one, and Matthew Stotts just shot the middle of Champ Racing Incorporated. He collects the lead from that. It's a very brave move from the RS01, but he's missed the International Horseshoe, and Dylan will take complete advantage of that. Nickel makes his mandatory pit stop. Not sure if damage had any role to play in that. Stotts and Dylan alike, both sliding through the kink. But Dylan has the inside at the West Horseshoe, and he will see thank you very much, see you later. Can Logan Cool continue to play interceptor for Dylan now that his teammate has seized the lead? No, because Matthew Stotts is about to play interceptor on Dylan. If he gets he's gotten a pretty solid run. Slipstream versus down low wing setups. There's also this going on, which is nowhere near as exciting as the battle for the race lead. Dylan is all the way on the yellow line, Talladega style. How did he get that stopped? What on earth? That's a bit of a scruffy exit, though. I don't know if the game is going to like that. That may have just been a slowdown penalty for the 69 car, but it's looking like it was not. Both cars are doing 180 behind Dylan. Dylan himself's not exactly going slow. He's starting to look like GTEs with these downforce setups. Oh, they make contact, but honestly, that might have straightened Matthew Stotts out on the way into the braking zone. Behind this is also a battle for fourth between Matthew Daly and Travis Van Oostendorp, but it's nowhere near as bumper to bumper. We also have Jamie Wright in eighth behind Jurgen. We have Jamie, Jonathan, and Jake. That's not confusing at all. And we just have Connor. And Fidel Fabian right in his mirrors too. So you've got like little couples battles, like couples and trios. We got the battle for the lead, battle for fourth, battle for sixth, battle for ninth, which I think Connor Hannick might have just lost with that corner exit. Billy Targi is also a part of this, and then we just have Luke Allen and Jan Torres back here for table scraps. And AJ Knickel with a rather uncharacteristic performance up to this point. There's obviously still several laps remaining, and he has made his pit stop when not many other cars have, but it still seems weird to see him back there, considering his championship so far has been, well, almost perfection up to this point. Be hard to call anything less or more than an embarrassment for everybody that's not Dylan at the moment. As it's kind of felt to me as the commentator like it's more or less been Dylan versus AJ, and then everybody else fighting for the last spot on the podium. We have random moments like this, where we had Matthew Stotts battling for the lead against Dylan, and Logan Cool was leading because of the sprint pole, and we've had other incidents like that, but they're few and far between, usually not very long-lived, and it always just kind of seems like it's just delaying the inevitable more than it is a battle for position. I saw the thing in the race feed and I was like, oh, Fidel's making overtakes. And then I just got so confused as to why everyone was going slowly, because they're in the middle of turns. And my brain just encountered a Windows error and shut down on me. I don't think that was track limits at all. And then we're all about to find out. There's no way Jackson. Where does Jackson come into this? Penalty or not, Jake Scarborough's got a huge run. He outdrags Van Oostendorp with little to no issues. Logan Cool makes a pit stop, taking himself out of the battle for the lead, which isn't really much of a battle anymore. DIVEBOMB has pulled a comfortable margin at this point. And now it's Scarborough versus Matthew Daly for P3, provisionally, with Van Oostendorp in tow. And Jurgensmeyer not too far away either. Travis is about to be completely surrounded by Mercedes. I also had no idea there were this many. There's 5. Why? Only thing is, this chicane is never a place you want to attempt to pass either. AJ makes yet another pit stop. It's interesting because he seemed very confident in his pace going into the race, and even said he tuned the car for stability, so something didn't quite go according to plan at the 44R camp, and AJ is having a race to forget. And Jake Scarborough will out-drag his fellow AMG with little issues. Daly tries to challenge at the apex, can't get alongside though. Tarji has the advantage over Fidel, but he's taken into a spot where he can't use it, so you'll have to just continue to wait. This race has become very spread out all of a sudden. Connor Hannock may have a run on Billy Tarji, but it's the bus stop, and he doesn't desire to risk that. I think at this point, the race is mostly just waiting for the pit cycles to finish off, to see if it shakes anything up, and then it's just kind of the run to the finish line from there. Scarborough pits, Hannock follows him in. Does a little more than follow him, actually, and instead just smacks into Jake Scarborough. I ain't gonna be popular if that's not Jake, that's his teammate Fidel. I'm blind. I'm blind and the lighting's terrible. Oh, that's very good. I thought... The weight of the game, I read the room there, and I thought Matthew Day was going straight into the back of that car. But no, he managed to get it well down, just in time to avoid a disaster. Stupid stuffy nose, stop that. So we're essentially waiting for the top 5 to make their pit stops, and apparently the top 2 have no interest. Now Jake Scarborough is pitting. Tarji looks like, yeah, he is going to follow Scarborough in. I think between me, you, the viewers, and the fence post, I know why Dylan hasn't pit yet. His car is obviously handling rather well at the moment, and I know he's been struggling with tire pressures staying in the correct window, and he probably doesn't want to pit and jeopardize the appropriate values that they may have at the moment. Because we all know how this game is, and pit stops can sometimes mess with that. Oh, here we go. I kind of zoned out, but then I saw a bunch of exclamation marks appear, and I was like, wait, what's going on? And we have a 4-car battle. Underrated functionality, let me tell you that. In fact, the game just puts an icon next to somebody that's caught somebody. Very underrated. Especially for somebody like me who has the attention span of a banana. Just look at the funny yellow triangle on B. Oh, okay, put camera here. Understood. As everyone is lining up behind the Porsche of Setchel. And Scarborough, with the AMG horsepower, is able to outdrag the Porsche and get clear well before this braking zone. Travis is going to try the bus stop. Brakes very late. Scarborough, I think, saw this in his mirror and also broke late to avoid making contact, and he had to make a pretty big catch just to avoid destruction. Stotts comes out of the pit lane, leaving only Matthew Daly and Dylan Baum remaining, who have not pit. Torres has also overtaken Setchel. All three cars approach turn 1 at about 178, 179 miles an hour. Van Oostendorp is struggling to keep that car under wraps. Setchel has failed to keep that car under wraps. Fidel Fabian has struggled to keep that car under wraps and spins out into the path of Johnny Jurgensmeyer. Why'd I call him that? It's not been Fidel's month. That's the only way I can possibly say this. Between Zhuhai and Shanghai and now Daytona, I don't know what to say. Just eternal pain, eternal punishment for the driver of the number 30, because it's not getting any better over there for him either. As Dylan Baum has finally graced the pit lane with his presence, and I have to assume Matthew Daly will probably do the same, thus shuffling out the pit cycles. I am, of course, lying. He is not pitting, and he will inherit the lead, as temporary as it may or may not be. Matthew Stotts is caught up to Logan Cool, who clearly jumped him under the pit cycles with an undercut. How will this undercut relate to Logan? Nope. Well, yeah, Logan's teammate, Dylan Baum. I think he might actually lose the place to both of them. They are both rapidly approaching this location. Yeah, no, he's he's been overtaken. No, well, that's the inside. It's hard to say. Logan has missed turn 1. They're too wide through the chicane. They have been smacked. I think they got hooked there, and Matthew Stotts just trying to intentionally turn Logan for that, which was really just the fault of the game's physics. Or was that more of the game's physics that turned him that way? It's really hard to tell from the replay camera. I think they made contact and got hooked together there, because the Project Cars 2 physics just like to do that. And that put both of them in the wall. That gave Dylan a pretty easy way to get into second place uncontested, which does make it look a little bit sketchy that that involved his teammate and that benefited Dylan so much, but I have reasons to believe that that wasn't really what Logan had in mind. Meanwhile, the three-car train of Scarborough, Van Oostendorp, and Torres troops on into the late evening here at Daytona. Now Matthew Daly has made his pit stop 13 laps later, and pretty safe bet that Dylan Baum is about to reclaim the lead. Yeah, not even a contest. Matthew Daly hasn't even gotten control of his car. Now he has, and he's back to second. Here comes Logan Cool to put him in third. Stotts passes by. The three-car train passes by. I didn't realize they were all that close together. So now we have upgraded to a 3-4 car train. Matthew Stotts has been caught by it at pretty rapid pace. I think he may have gotten damage from his interaction with Logan. Based on his speed at the braking zone there, and the fact that he can't get the car turned in for the second horseshoe, confirms that theory to me. Scarborough defending there, I think. Matthew Stotts might have damage, but I still have the sneaking suspicion he's going to try and do something to assist his teammate on the inside lane beneath him, but he's just kind of running the high lane and getting on with his night. Letting those two go, Torres is a little ways back, so I don't think he'll be passing him just yet. Man, both Van Oostendorp and Scarborough had unique interpretations of what the bus stop is supposed to look like there. These Renaults look so ornery in the braking zone for turn 1, and yet neither of them have actually missed the turn yet. Or like spun out or anything. Neither of them have had any issues in turn 1, and it looks like they should be, but they just don't. As looking at the previous laps from Scarborough and Van Oostendorp versus Logan Cool, I believe his time in P2 may soon be coming to an end, as this 3-car train, as Torres also ran a 45.7 to match. They are very much closing in. Obviously, getting up to is one thing, passing is another, and that rings true especially for Logan, but it's hard to dispute the idea that he's not about to be caught massively here in the next lap or two. But honestly, I don't know if Logan cares. In his head, A, he's run out the front for most of this race, and B, he's just going to help his teammate and team owner even further extend his race lead, in case 8 seconds wasn't already enough. Torres is going to try and steal P4 from the Renault. And they're going to go 2 abreast into turn 1. Who will survive? Torres makes an ultimate crossover attack, but it does not really do much of anything. How about a send into the horseshoe? No. How about a bumper? Maybe. He gets alongside after applying the rear bumper a tiny bit to the RS01. And even that hasn't done much, as he backs out before they have to go too wide through the kink. How about the west horseshoe? No, he had to let off to not run into him in the kink. So Torres tried multiple times there and didn't get a single iota of a chance. And now it is Jake Scarborough's opportunity to grab P2 away from Logan, denying Champ Racing of their 1-2 finish. The one advantage the Huracan has is straight line speed. Unfortunately for Logan, that doesn't help a whole lot against an AMG GTR. Jake has got an absolutely massive run through the bus stop and gets too wide with him through NASCAR turn 3. And I think that is going to seal the deal for Scarborough, as we are apparently in a rally stage. That's just some latency on Logan's end that's making the car look like it belongs on a trampoline. Nothing more than that. 3 laps remaining here from Daytona. And it looks like we have another battle for 4th. Van Nistelrooy with a weird-looking turn 1 exit, which Torres tries to capitalize on, but he once again cannot. He'll try again at the horseshoe. He gets a splitter in there. Van Nistelrooy has to give way. And so they're too wide once more, heading to the kink. Van Nistelrooy with a better exit. And Torres once again retreats. What on earth was that? Did Van Nistelrooy get loose there? That's what it looked like. Earches. That's the wrong car. Behind us is another 3-car train, which is about to absorb Matthew Stotts into it as well, who clearly has got some damage somewhere. Torres is looking to get her done in the bus stop. This is scary. And he's just going to out-drag the Renault. Van Nistelrooy doesn't break even remotely lane enough to try and contest. Actually completely misses the second half of the chicane, for good measure. And Torres is now running P4 over the Renault. Yep. That makes sense to me. What? It is now 2 laps to go. We are basically racing in complete darkness, also known as my soul. What? What is Verstappening? I don't even know anymore. Matthew Daly takes P6 away from Stotts. It's like the 4th time I've announced the Matthew overtaking Matthew. Fabian is on the hunt for P9 against Connor Hannock. And that's honestly the last on-track battle at the moment, is Setchel does that and loses it in the bus stop, nearly destroying Jake via confusion more than anything there. As DIVEBOMB is about to begin the final lap here. That's given Logan a small chance to try and take P2 away from Scarborough. But not much. Not much of a chance. Yeah, even for Logan Cool, this is not DIVEBOMB range. And the only other on-track battle is Fidel Fabian is attempting to out-drag Connor Hannock for 9th. A little bit sideways, Fidel had the lead, or had the position for a split second, but Hannock came back at him at the center of the turn and remains in the position, in 9th position. Logan is pretty close now. If he gets a good exit onto the banking, he might actually have a chance. He didn't really have that though. He got a little bit unstable, and that is, I think, put Jake Scarborough out of range. Oh, Connor Hannock has run out of fuel on the final lap. That'll put him right out of the running for that. Well, it's been a very AJ performance, as DIVEBOMB heads to the tri-oval. He will grab the sweep here at Daytona, and winning the feature race by a hefty margin of at least 8 seconds. Jake Scarborough will claim P2 over Logan Cool, who gets a podium finish for Champ Racing. Jan Torres P4, Ben Isendorf P5, Matthew Daly P6, Jurgensmeyer 7th, a very blinky Matthew Stotts P8. There is a dot on the minimap that is having a seizure, and I mean, I think we have to bring this up at some point here. The unmitigated disaster that AJ Kinnickle has had today. I think he's got enough of a points cushion that this isn't going to cost him the championship lead by any means, but this is certainly going to be a blow to morale down there, finishing 14th at the line here, and 13th. Somebody, I think Connor Hennick left. That's certainly the highest of highs for Champ Racing, and not a very high for 44. I mean, P6 Matthew Daly is not too bad for him, but AJ, I mean, I don't think I have to tell you that he's usually not running 13th. Not really quite sure what went wrong over there, but at any rate, that'll do it for the ARC GT3 Championship Challenge acronym thing. Next week, not sure what that is. Logan told me he'd send me the schedule on Discord, and he never actually did that. And because I'm the commentator, I never really looked for the schedule, and it was never shown to me by anybody because I don't drive. But whatever the next race may be in both this and Realistic F1, because that'll actually be the next broadcast. Be sure to tune in to tune out whenever that occasion may arrive.